Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, when it comes to our ordinary life, mostly we always depend on our self-experience. And that self-experience we gathered through repetition or when going through a pattern or developing a habit and following something or believing something. And then once we develop that habitual pattern, it becomes our sanskara. For thoughts, there is another word called abhisanskara. So when the thought happens, the thought mostly not going to happen alone. Sanskara means mental formations. Abhi means it bringing its past experience to the present moment. When you have a thought, that means it has your past influence. So there is something like this, there is something like that. So like whatever the experience that you went through, that experience already have an idea regarding whatever the matter or the mind. So then you repeat it. It's kind of like a photocopy. Giving a copy. That doesn't mean the first one or the next one going to erase. So you can keep doing 1,000. So why that we hold it to that? Because we have a believing I am and there is something and it used to be like this. It should will happen like that way. So like that we already get into a pattern. And then so internally we have some experience and we hold into internal view, and then outside certain conditions, and we have a struggle to go with this our internal view with that outside conditions, and then we keep struggling. So during Buddha's time there was two brothers, right? Chullapantaka and Mahapantaka. The Mahapantaka means elder. So elder brother called Mahapantaka and the younger brother called Chullapantaka. So this both became monks. And the elder brother used to become so skillful monk. And he used to practice things, memorize things. But younger brother had a struggle. He couldn't even memorize any single verse or any single Dhamma, that any sutta, he didn't remember anything. He had a very busy, disturbed mind. So then one day he got so disappointed and he came to that they see this elder brother, and they had a discussion. And then what the elder brother told, you know, this monk life not work for you. It's better you go back. This is what the elder brother told. So during even Buddha's time, that when it come to our this conventional life, one thing you have to remember, the mostly the difficult things come out of from your same ground, from your own brothers, sisters. Look at the world, mostly people. How many brothers, sisters don't talk each other? And how many brothers, sisters that come against? And even how many brothers, sisters jealous each other, hate each other, and having the wrong believing each other. So even during Buddha's time, the same. And even in in the Christian history, that as you know, David and Goliath. And the David had capability and he didn't afraid for the Goliath. But the David brothers told, oh, you go home. You cannot do anything. You go home. You go, don't do anything. So the brothers criticize him and underestimate him and told that because the David used to bring the food to his brothers and brothers told, no, 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 you cannot do these things. You go home. And but the David was so smart. What is that? He didn't pick the fight with brothers and sisters. And he picked the fight with the Goliath. So, like that, always remember, it giving a very beautiful lesson. What is that lesson? Never get into fight with your husband or wife or children or parents or brothers, sisters or neighbors. Never get, it is worthless. Why? Because you cannot win. And it is dirty. It make you dirty. And it make you more disappointed. You will never end that fight, that kind of fight. So that's why give the as soon as possible, accept it and give the win. So see the David, what the David, so it says, don't spend unnecessary energy for unnecessary fight, especially when it comes to the brothers and sisters and the family members. You have to fight husband, wife, the very next day you have to again, stay with them in the same roof, under the same roof. What's the point then fighting? It doesn't matter right or wrong. So whatever they ask, give that. Stay away from that. So during Buddha's time, even in the community of the Sangha, look, the brothers, two brothers, had the same situation. The elder brother told, go home, go home. It doesn't work for you, and criticize him. You are not capable to do this. It always there. So then you have to remember, if something happened to you like that, we don't take it personal. It is the very nature of the world. So only thing is, try to learn these things and know these things and get the lesson out of it, and then be strong yourself. How you can be strong yourself? Because developing a spiritual path and developing yourself, your spirituality, you have to have the strength and the courage build up within yourself. That is the very important thing. Not with others. Of course, we need the help, but forget about the help. You need yourself. You need to build up something within yourself when you walk in this path. Why? Especially even in the family, and sometimes even just to be generous person yourself. And maybe if your husband, wife so greedy, children so greedy, parents so greedy, you have to have some strength and the courage to move forward, to be generous. Otherwise, you caught up in that courage. And the hatred, and sometimes families, generations to generations, nations to nations, hate, to carry the hate. And religions to religions, cult to cult, we build up the hatred. So then you have to have the courage to go against that. That doesn't mean you go and fight. No, you take a different road. You have to build up the strength. If you always go with the other people, if you always go with the crowd, you're not going to end. And the ignorance, the whole family may be caught up in ignorance, and then you see that. And the whole village or the whole country, whole nation, and you caught up in the ignorance. You see that. So if you see it, are you going to go with that crowd? Or are you going to slowly find a different path? So if you don't develop the strength and the courage to walk yourself alone, how are you going to do that? So that is the one thing when it comes to this spiritual practice. Doesn't matter wherever you are, whoever you are. Sometimes you see this is wrong. This is not the way you see that, but there is nothing you can do. You are helpless. But remember yourself, determine yourself, brush up yourself, clean yourself, rebuild your life, and have a deeper, strong foundation to yourself. If I have the power to take the decision, I'm not going to take this. Have that. And then what will happen? If your will is that much so strong, if you select the right, one day it's going to come to you. One day it's going to come to you. See, sometimes people just keep telling things. Just when they keep telling things, and sometimes when they get mad, angry, they keep telling things, and they later they do exactly the same thing. And the people will become happy, and they keep doing, keep telling, and one day they do it. It happened. So like that, then you have to remember yourself. If you have the power in this world, just give an answer to yourself. There is no barriers, nothing come against you. You have the 100% total power and strength, capability, abilities, everything to you. What kind of decision you going to take? Just imagine, just think yourself and see. Do you start to take advice from somebody? Then you screwed up. You done. Because then you should understand, you should not wish for that, because you have no idea about it. So don't wish for it. If you don't know what to do, don't ask for that power. So like that, you have to remember yourself in this spiritual path. When you walk, be strong yourself to be alone. Why? Because mostly the difficulties come from the very close people. That is something. The difficulties, all the hindrance, everything is tangled, tackle, everything come. Criticizing, blaming, everything come very, very close people. If you get somebody into to help and open the path and giving a hand and push you forward, that is a blessing. That is a blessing. But still, you don't need to look for that. Only thing is, once you understand it, if you see something, you have to accept it. Just accept it and move forward, and just recognize it is encourage you, and it giving you opportunity. But what I want to tell, remember, the gaining in a positive way is very, very rare. If you have it, protect it. Remember that. If you have that kind of people around you, protect it. And other thing is, be a person like that. Never ever, you know, and tackle or never ever put any hindrance or criticize your brothers, sisters, or your husband, wife, or your children, or brothers, even the neighbors. Never do that. Always, if there is something that they cultivating, they developing and moving forward with the profitable way, give a hand, appreciate that. So that is your duty. That is what you're learning, and that will help you. Sometimes it is difficult, but that is what we have to practice. It is a kind of like you cleaning yourself also. So anyhow, look at this during Buddha's time. So what happened? to this elder brother. Mahapantaka told to this Chullapantaka, this younger monk, told, go home, go home. This doesn't work for you. What are you doing here? And then he got because this young little monk, and he didn't want to go home. And then he got disappointed. His own brother tried to tell him to go back. And then he got disappointed, and in the evening went to Buddha in the morning. So then the Buddha told, this community of Sangha not belong to your brother. This community of Sangha belong to Dharma and me. That everyone follow my teachings, not your brother's teaching. You became a monk not because of your brother. So forget about him. See, that's what the Buddha taught. So then when it come to the Dhamma, if you see the right, that's why you have to have the power to stand for that truth. That build up something in you. That is very important. Then otherwise, don't go with because of your husband, wife, children, parents, brothers, sister. Don't go in the wrong way. If you see this is wrong, forget about that. So always find whatever the right path. So then the Buddha told, don't worry about it. Just do as I tell. And then what the Buddha said? And Buddha gave a little piece of cloth, white cloth, and told to this monk early in the morning when the sun rises, and rubbing this piece of cloth and start to do practice meditation. It is a kind of like exercise. Rub this cloth and keep observing the cloth and rub the cloth. And then this monk start to do it. When the sun rises early in the morning, he got this piece of cloth, white cloth, and start to rub it. And telling Rajo Haranang. So, and then what happened? Little by little, this little monk saw this piece of cloth, because when he keep rubbing, what happened? The sun start to rise, and the hand start to get sweat and warm and get sweat, and because of that, all the dirt start to get into that white cloth, and that cloth became little by little dirty. And observing that, what happened? This little monk attained to the enlightenment. See, that is what we talked today in the beginning. Interrogating inside and outside. So we don't see that what is inside us. But when you apply it to outside, we're going to recognize. So that little monkey didn't see the dirt, that everything stuck in his hand. And he got the piece of cloth. And then he was keep rubbing, he understood. The piece of cloth got dirt. Listen this very carefully. This is the point, key point. That piece of cloth get dirt not because of that piece of cloth. It got dirt because of the dirt stuck in his hand, his own hand. So the same thing with us. If we get the hurt, if we have the joy, pleasure, anger, hatred, ignorance, it is not because of the outside world. We have inner conditions to interrogate with that and bring that result again and again and again. That is what you have to understand. Even whatever you experience, in that very moment to experience that, you need internal experience. There is internal interference with your experience. This is what you have to see. But mostly we always struggling and fighting and trying to change the outside world. So to how this monk became that much so sharp, because one of the previous life, he was a king. So this is the the history came, because that whatever we develop in our mind as a mental condition, it going to come with us. So whatever we practice as in our mind, it going to be with us. So he was a king, and one day they were gathering. The all other kings around other kingdoms came, and then this king was little late, and he was putting his all the costume and garment and jewelry, everything. And then he was little bit hurry because he was late. Everybody waiting for him. And then he was wearing his all the garments and enter to the assembly. And then everybody, when he was talking to everyone, he saw there was a little dirt stuck in his costume, that the garment. And he was more concerned regarding it, and because in front of everybody, he cannot remove it. But he knew, and he was focusing to that more than the outside. And internally, he observing it. Oh, if other people see this, if other kings see this, it is not good for me. So like that, he was so focused and moving very carefully without showing that. See, that his mind was so sharp to focus to that. And that became a habit. And that's why when the dirt came out of that white cloth, that previous memory, because for the dirt he was so concerned. And right away, that mental ability, what happened? It recharged. And then it is stuck with this. And that bring the tranquility state, and through that tranquility state, little by little, mind, body, breathing start to become one, and then the five hindrance disappears, and then the first absorption, the second absorption, third absorption, fourth absorption, through all the mental, high mental powers, and little by little, he get into the vipassana and recognize the impermanent. So the interrogating inside and outside connection, recognizing the connection and see the cause and effect, because mostly we think, oh, this is me, this is I am, I do whatever I want, this is my life. But we don't see how our parents sacrifice for us, how other people help for us, and even this nature help for us. We don't see. People think, oh, we are the masters. I am the boss. I can do whatever I want. That's what we people think. That's why they destroy this everything. They don't see it is as a part of the life. People don't care this the breathing happened because of the nature. They don't care. So they think, oh, I want to do whatever I want. Oh, I want to have fun because this is my life. But they don't understand how the parents sacrifice so much, how their brothers, sisters sometimes sacrifice a lot of things, and how the husband, wife sacrifice everything, and sometimes other person have no idea. And sometimes how the children sacrifice things because of their parents, they have no idea. They think, oh, everything I am, like that. So interrogating this and recognizing when something happens, and deeply observing and recognizing and these things, and mostly your past experience have a connection to this, and then deeply the way you accept these outside situations and bring a new situation. The way you accept this outside situation bring a new situation. Otherwise, there is nothing new. This new means this both things, the outside and inside, mixing and come something. Mixing and come something. So this is the world that we go through. So when it comes to this, the vipassana practice, that what you have to understand through this story, that remember that first thing is the way that to everything that whatever happening inside us, there is a reason within ourselves. So don't point out to the outside world. But at the same time, that we have to have the outside experience and interrogate to see that. Otherwise, we cannot see it. So this both we need. Somebody need to disturb us to see we have this quality within us. And then we recognize. Otherwise, we're not going to see it. So this whatever outside happening, always remember it always part of the Dharma. Don't take it anything as an enemy, because the way you look, the way you accept can change things. Take it as a part of the Dharma. It's trying to tell you something about you, and try to learn it. So then any situation become an opportunity for you to become a better person. So then always remember, little by little, little by little, whenever you have opportunity, rather than separating thing and hold it to the self-centered mind, start to see the connection, see the cause and effect. And that way, in that understanding, it will help you to get out of the self-centered mind. Once you get out of the self-centered mind, you're going to settle down in the Dharma. Once you settle down in the Dharma, you never go backward. So that is where your transformation happen. That is where your liberation happen, which we call ultimate bliss of Nibbana. So with that, I bless upon everyone. With this good practice, may all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabrogo vinasatu mate bhavatvantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata cha ammi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamunchutu. Bless you.